In the future, a huge disaster will wipe out the entire Earth. Only a handful of survivors will remain, and with their last hope, they will build a time machine. This machine will allow them to travel into the past, hoping to change history and stop the destruction of the world. But the big question is, can the future really be changed by fixing the past? The story starts with Josh, a simple janitor working in a big science lab. He never really cared much about his job. Most of the time, when no one was watching, he would secretly play a video game called Biotic Wars. The game's story is set in the year 2160, when humanity is almost extinct. A powerful company named Biotic creates a deadly virus that spreads across the world, killing nearly all humans. Only a small group of fighters remain, struggling to save what's left of mankind by fighting against the biotics. This game is known to be so difficult that no one has ever been able to complete it. Josh, who feels like a loser in real life, spends his nights trying again and again. In reality, he doesn't have much going on. He only works as a cleaner and secretly admires a scientist named Jerry at the lab, but he never has the courage to tell her. He always thinks, why would someone as smart as Jerry ever like a janitor like me? One day when another scientist, Camillo, mocks Josh in front of everyone, the lab's founder, Dr. Cronish, steps in. He tells Camillo that no job is small and everyone deserves respect, including Josh. Dr. Cronish then shares his personal story with Josh. He explains that the scars on his face are from herpes, a disease he caught in 1969 during the night of the moon landing. Since then, he has dedicated his life to finding a cure, and that's why he built his research lab. Later that night, Josh goes home and once again plays Biotic Wars. After months of trying, he finally does the impossible. He defeats the final villain and wins the game. Overjoyed, he can't believe it. He especially loves one character in the game named Tiger and even starts daydreaming about her. But suddenly, something unbelievable happens. A strange glitch appears in his room, and Tiger herself steps out of the game into real life, along with another fighter, Wolf. Josh is shocked and terrified. How can characters from a video game appear in the real world? But Tiger quickly calms him down and tells him the truth. The game was never just a game. It was a secret message sent from the future. The company Biotech will really create the virus and destroy humanity, just like in the game. In the year 2160, survivors like Tiger and Wolf built this game to send their story back in time, hoping that someone in the past would complete it and understand the warning. And now Josh has done exactly that. By finishing the game, he has proven himself to be the one who can help them. With his help, Tiger and Wolf will travel back to the moment when biotech first began and try to change the past, so that the future of Earth can be saved. At first, Josh refuses to believe anything Tiger and Wolf tell him, but then Tiger takes out a real-time machine device, and before Josh can even process what's happening, the three of them travel back 48 years into the past. When Josh wakes up, he realizes his room looks completely different. Confused, he steps outside and sees a shocking sight. His father, now young again, being scolded by his grandparents for partying too much. Suddenly, they notice Josh. Mistaking him for a thief, they attack him. Josh somehow manages to escape, running outside, and there he finally understands the truth. He's in the year 1969. Tiger and Wolf take him to a restaurant to explain everything in detail. Wolf, coming from a ruined future where food was so scarce he had to eat rats, starts devouring plates of food as if he hasn't eaten in years. While eating, they reveal their plan to Josh. Tonight is the night of the moon landing, and this very night, a young scientist named Cronish will make a choice that will change the world forever. In the future, Cronish will go on to start Biotech, the company that creates the deadly virus. Their mission is simple. They will kill him tonight before he can ever reach that point. Josh is stunned. The Cronish he knows is kind and compassionate, the very man who stood up for him in the lab. He can't believe that this same man could one day be responsible for humanity's destruction. Tiger and Wolf explain that the scientists working under Cronish are the ones who will eventually start biotics, all because Cronish's research lab will exist. Without him, none of it would happen. To them, killing him is the only way to save the future. But Josh refuses. He insists they can't kill Cronish. He remembers that Cronish once told him about this very night, how he slept with a girl and caught a disease, which later inspired him to open his lab in search of a cure. Josh believes if they can simply stop him from meeting that girl, then he'll never catch the disease, never open the lab, and never create the path that leads to biotech. Things spiral out of control when Josh accidentally activates one of their futuristic devices. Chaos breaks out, and two policemen mistake them for criminals. When the officers close in, Wolf panics and throws a bomb under their car. The blast kills one officer named George, while the other barely survives. With no time to waste, the three fugitives run to the location of the party where young Cronish is supposed to meet the girl. Josh is determined to change the night without killing anyone. He believes he can rewrite history by keeping Cronish away from the girl. Disguised in a spacesuit, Josh sneaks into the party. Inside, he spots Cronish with the girl he must stop him from sleeping with. Josh rushes over and tries to distract them, but it doesn't work. Cronish has only one goal tonight, to be with her. Desperate, Josh comes up with another plan. He jumps onto the dance floor and starts dancing wildly to grab attention. The plan works better than expected. He becomes the star of the party, impressing not only the girl Cronish wanted, but also many others. Cronish, humiliated and furious, watches as the girl starts showing interest in Josh instead of him. While trying to complete their mission, Josh makes a big mistake. He accidentally drops his phone from the future. A man from 1969 finds it, and without Josh realizing, history is about to change in unexpected ways. After the party, Josh, Tiger, and Wolf use the time machine again and return to the present day, the year 2017. At first, all three of them are overjoyed. Josh believes he has successfully changed the timeline and saved the future. But their happiness doesn't last long. A bus passes by, and on its side, they see a giant poster advertising Dr. Cronish's lab. Not only does the lab still exist, but now it's even more famous than before. Tiger and Wolf are furious. They remind Josh that they had warned him. Cronish should have been killed in the past, but Josh refused. Josh takes them back to his house so they can calm down and discuss their next move. Once inside, Josh notices something strange. There's a gun in the house, but he knows it wasn't there in the original timeline. When he asks his father about it, he learns the truth. Back in 1969, a strange boy had once broken into their house, leading to a fight. Ever since then, his father has kept a gun for safety. Josh realizes with horror that the strange boy was actually him. His actions in the past have directly altered this future, but that's not the only change. Josh soon discovers that iPhones no longer exist. Instead, they're called black apples. He then remembers how he had lost his iPhone in 1969. Someone must have found it, copied its design, and built a company out of it. That person is now the wealthy owner of Black Apple in this timeline. For the first time, Josh fully understands how even the smallest mistake in the past can completely reshape the future. Still, one question eats away at him. He had stopped young Cronish from being with that girl at the party, so how did Cronish still get infected? And how did his lab still come to exist? To find answers, Josh goes with Tiger and Wolf to Cronish's lab. Inside, Josh meets Cronish face to face. He asks him how he really got the disease. Cronish explains that on the night of the party in 1969, the girl he liked left him for someone else. Heartbroken and angry, he spent years sleeping around with many women. Eventually, that's how he contracted herpes. Later, he started his research lab to search for a cure. This revelation shocks Josh. All his efforts to stop Cronish at the party meant nothing. The disease still found him another way, and the lab still came to exist. Meanwhile, Josh knows that Tiger and Wolf are waiting outside, disguised as lab workers, ready to kill Cronish at any moment. Josh warns Cronish to stay hidden, telling him there are dangerous people outside. But when Josh learns that Cronish has already published all his research online, his heart sinks. Even if Cronish is killed, his work is already out there for others to use. Sooner or later, someone will still create the virus. That means killing him now won't solve anything. Josh rushes to stop Tiger and Wolf just as they prepare to shoot Cronish. He blocks their path, insisting that killing him won't change the outcome. But Tiger and Wolf don't care. To them, Cronish is the root of the problem. If his research began with him, then the only true solution is to go further back, to the very beginning. They tell Josh their new plan. They must travel even deeper into the past, to the time of Cronish's birth, and kill him as a child. At first, Josh resists, but then, realizing how much is at stake for the entire future of humanity, even Josh begins to wonder, can the world really be saved if they let Cronish live? Now their mission takes a darker turn. Before anything else, they need to find the exact place and year Cronish was born. Only then can they travel back and try to end the threat before it ever begins. Since Josh knew Dr. Cronish personally, he decided to talk to him alone and find out where and when he was born. That night, Cronish was very drunk and opened up to Josh about his past. He confessed that during his youth, even though he was married, he had secretly been in love with a woman named Leslie. He never had the courage to tell his wife about her. Cronish then showed Josh an old photo of a boat. He explained how, back in 1989, He and Leslie had planned to run away together on that very boat and leave everything behind. But at the last moment, he lost his courage and never went through with it. Listening to his story, Josh felt even more connected to him, but he knew he had to ask the painful question. He finally asked for Cronish's date of birth. Cronish told him he was born on the 24th of June, 1949. Hearing this, Josh's heart grew heavy. He realized that their next mission was to travel back to 1949 and kill Cronish as a child. He didn't want to do it, but Tiger and Wolf were set on their plan. Before leaving, Josh took one last photo with Cronish, so that at least he could remember him in the new timeline after he was gone. Josh then told Tiger and Wolf everything. The three of them prepared to travel back to 1949. But meanwhile, the police were already on their trail. When Tiger and Wolf had entered Cronish's lab earlier, the security cameras had captured their faces, and now the police were searching for them. Soon, Josh, Tiger, and Wolf found themselves chased to the edge of a mountain cliff. With nowhere else to run and certain death approaching, Josh grabbed the time machine from Tiger and activated it. Together, they leapt through time. Tiger and Wolf thought they had landed in 1949 as planned, but very quickly they realized something was wrong. Josh had deliberately changed the destination and brought them to 1989 instead. Since the time machine needed 2 full days to reset before it could be used again, they were stuck here. Tiger and Wolf were furious at Josh for disobeying the plan, but Josh defended himself, saying he just couldn't allow them to kill an innocent child. Instead, he revealed a new plan. He reminded them of what Cronish himself had told him, how he was deeply in love with Leslie and had once planned to leave with her. Josh believed that if they could bring Cronish and Leslie together now, then Cronish would abandon his wife, leave America with Leslie, and never go on to create the lab. And if the lab never existed, then the virus and the end of the world would never happen. Tiger was frustrated but had no choice. The time machine wasn't ready yet, so they had to wait anyway. Wolf, on the other hand, was thrilled. He loved being in 1989, a time full of food, fun, and freedom. For him, this was paradise compared to the harsh future he came from. He decided then and there that he was done with the mission. He would stay behind in 1989 and live his life in peace without worrying about the fate of the future. Josh sneaks into young Cronish's home to learn more about Leslie, the person he loved. He's stunned to discover Leslie isn't a woman at all, but a man. Even so, Josh sticks to his plan. He tells Cronish's wife about the affair, hoping she'll leave him and push Cronish to run away with Leslie instead of ever starting the lab. Meanwhile, Tiger is trying to talk sense into Wolf. She reminds him their teammates in the future are counting on them. Wolf refuses. He's done sacrificing. He wants to live for himself and stay right here in 1989. On the other side of town, Josh storms up to young Cronish with a gun and forces him toward the same boat from the old photo, the one Cronish once planned to escape on. Cronish is confused and scared, unsure why a stranger is trying to shove him out of America. Josh finally tells the truth. He's from 2017. He time-traveled here to stop Cronish from founding the lab that will one day lead to a world-ending virus. Cronish doesn't believe him until Josh shows a photo from the future with older Cronish in it. Josh lays everything out. If Cronish doesn't leave, Tiger and Wolf will kill him. Josh is trying to save his life and the world at the same time. Moved, Cronish thanks him and promises to board the boat with Leslie that very night and disappear for good. Relieved, Josh meets Tiger and shares the good news. Tiger, however, adds bad news. Wolf isn't coming. He's staying in 1989. Josh and Tiger jump to 2017 to check the results. Instead of a victory, they see a massive new tower, Cronish Labs, already up and running. Tiger explodes. That company wasn't supposed to exist until 2070, the place where the virus would be created. Josh hasn't slowed the disaster. He's made it arrive earlier. Tiger presses him. What exactly did you tell Cronish in 1989? Josh admits he told Cronish everything. His future, the virus, even the compound formula, hoping Cronish would avoid it. But that backfired. With advanced knowledge, Cronish, or those around him, accelerated the dark future instead of preventing it. Tiger calls Josh the most foolish person she's ever met. They should have ended Cronish at the start. Furious, she grabs the time device and leaves Josh behind, jumping alone to 1949 to kill Cronish as a child. She tracks the address, finds a small house where little Cronish lives with his mother Emily. It's raining hard. Emily spots Tiger drenched on the porch and, not knowing who she is, kindly invites her inside for the night. Tiger had made up her mind. Tonight, she would kill young Cronish. But before she could act, Emily, his mother, began to share her story. She explained how her husband, a soldier, had been killed in World War II, leaving little Cronish as her only reason to live. Emily told Tiger that her son was all she had left in the world. Hearing this broke something inside Tiger. She had come to kill the boy, yet now she saw how much he meant to his mother. When Emily went into the kitchen to prepare food and asked Cronish to take care of Tiger in the meantime, Tiger's resolve weakened. She told herself she would wait a day or two, but that day never came. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. A whole year passed, and Tiger was still living with Emily and young Cronish. She raised him alongside Emily, sharing in their small joys and sorrows. There were countless moments when she could have easily ended his life and escaped back to her mission, but every time her hand stopped, she couldn't bring herself to take away Emily's last hope. 2 more years went by. Tiger had now lived in this timeline for 3 years, and Cronish had grown under her care. Then one day, Emily announced she was remarrying. Her life was finally beginning to feel whole again, and she would soon move into a new home with her son. Tiger was overjoyed for Emily, relieved that she had found happiness once more. Emily also told Tiger that it was time she went to find her friend Wolf, the man Tiger had often spoken about during her stay. Tiger thought this was the perfect moment to finally complete her mission. If Emily was starting a new family, she would have other children. Cronish didn't have to be her only happiness. Yet after 3 years of raising him herself, Tiger couldn't do it. Her heart wouldn't allow her. So instead of killing him, she returned to the future, back to the year 2017. But when she arrived, she learned what had happened to Wolf. He had stayed behind in 1989, built a new life, even opened a restaurant and became well known. At first he was happy, but over the years, guilt consumed him for abandoning Tiger and Josh, and for failing their mission. Without a time machine, since Josh and Tiger had taken it, he was stuck in the past. By 1993, weighed down by regret, Wolf decided to end his life. Before he could, though, he recorded a confession. In it, he admitted how badly he regretted his choice. But while he was making the recording, an old police officer broke in to arrest him. This man was Scar, the very officer whose partner had been killed by Wolf during their first-time travel escape. Scar had spent years hunting Wolf, and now, face to face, he sought revenge. He pulled the trigger and shot Wolf. In the present, Tiger was devastated to hear this, but she refused to let it stand. She used the time machine again and jumped back to 1993, to the exact moment Scar was about to kill Wolf. This time she intervened. She pulled Wolf out of that moment and brought him with her into the future. Just before the fatal shot landed, Scar was left behind, terrified. After all his years of waiting to take revenge, his enemy had vanished right before his eyes, along with a machine powerful enough to bend time itself. Back in 2017, Josh was drowning in guilt. He blamed himself. If he had allowed Cronish to be killed, none of this would have happened. Instead, a massive new Cronish lab now stood in the city, and its research was leading the world straight toward destruction. Even Tiger lost her patience with him and stormed off, leaving Josh to walk home in shame. But when Josh arrived, he was stunned. His home was no longer the same small place. It was a huge, luxurious mansion. Confused, he explored this new timeline and discovered shocking details. Google was now called Bluegall, and Josh himself was famous. In this world, he was one of the biggest online gamers alive and the owner of a massive energy drink company. Just as Josh was enjoying this new reality, Tiger and Wolf appeared at his door. They explained everything. For Josh, almost no time had passed since their last mission. But Tiger had lived 3 years in the past, and Wolf had lived 4. They had aged and suffered, while for Josh, it had been just moments. Josh was relieved to hear that Tiger, just like him, hadn't been able to kill young Cronish. But the relief didn't last. They still hadn't saved the world, and worse, their time machine was broken. Tiger explained that when she rescued Wolf, the police officer's bullet had damaged the device beyond repair. Time travel was no longer an option. With no machine, they needed a new plan. Tiger began befriending an employee inside Cronish's lab to gather information. But before she could act, the same police officer from 1993, the one who had chased Wolf, attacked her. Recognizing her face, he was shocked. He realized she hadn't aged a day in decades. That meant she really was a time traveler, and his suspicions were confirmed. Through her contact at the lab, Tiger learned that Dr. Cronish had locked himself away in the top floor, terrified of assassination. He never came out anymore because Josh had already warned him years ago about the 3 travelers. But there was one exception. Camillo, the worker, revealed that in 3 days, Cronish would make a public speech to announce a groundbreaking new discovery. That would be their one chance to strike. Meanwhile, Josh was learning more about his altered life. He might be rich and famous, but his parents now lived in a retirement home. Worse, he found out that in this timeline, he himself had thrown them out after they confronted him about his drug use. Trying to explain that he didn't belong to this timeline only made things worse. His father didn't believe a word. Feeling hopeless, Josh had a new idea. In this reality, maybe he had never beaten Biotic Wars. If he played and finished it now, then just like before, Tiger and Wolf from the future might appear to help them. Excited, he locked himself in and played for days. Eventually, he beat the final level, and just like before, reality glitched. Two travelers appeared, but this time it wasn't Tiger and Wolf. It was two completely new fighters from the year 2160, Sam and Casey. Josh was stunned. Tiger and Wolf quickly explained the situation to them, how they had once appeared in this time to stop Cronish, but Josh's mistakes had only sped things up. Now Cronish was creating the virus in his lab, and it had to be destroyed immediately. Sam and Casey had their own story. In their timeline, both Tiger and Wolf had been killed during a mission. They were the last survivors of humanity, carrying the entire burden of saving the future. Their mission was urgent. If they failed here, the world would end with no one left to fight. Josh finally revealed his plan to the group. They would split into two teams to attack Cronish's lab. Alpha Team, Tiger and Casey would strike at the reception, planting explosives and drawing attention. Bravo Team, Wolf and Sam would move through the underground passages, setting charges to blow the base apart. Meanwhile, Josh himself would use the chaos to slip into the elevator, ride it to the top floor, and confront Dr. Cronish face to face. The mission began, but as Tiger and Casey planted their bombs, they spotted a little girl inside the building. Tiger refused to detonate, determined to save her life. Casey grew furious, accusing Tiger of being too soft. She even spotted the photo Tiger wore around her neck, the one of young Cronish and his mother. That, she said, was proof Tiger could never kill Cronish. Their fight nearly ruined the mission, but once the girl left safely, the plan moved forward. Josh turned to Tiger and Wolf one last time, promising them that this time he would not fail. This was his final chance. If they didn't stop Cronish today, the future would be lost forever. With their blessing, Josh climbed a narrow elevator shaft while Tiger and Wolf fought off waves of guards below. At last, Josh reached the top floor and came face to face with Dr. Cronish. But the man before him was no longer the kind, sympathetic scientist Josh had once known. Cronish admitted the truth. Back in 1989, he had indeed left with Leslie on the boat, but Leslie had died just 1 year later. Heartbroken and alone, Cronish remembered everything Josh had told him about the future. Rather than change his fate, he embraced it. He rebuilt his lab, using the knowledge Josh had given him to speed up his research and deliberately create the very virus that would doom humanity. Josh's anger boiled over. He shouted that he had saved Cronish again and again, given him countless chances to change, even stood up for him in the original timeline when everyone else mocked him. And yet every time Cronish had chosen the same path. This time, Josh said, he was finished trying. If Cronish lived, the world would die. Cronish finally understood. He realized Josh was right. His life had been given too many chances, and every time, it only led to ruin. For once, he chose to end it himself. Thanking Josh for his efforts, Cronish injected himself with the deadly virus, collapsing moments later. Josh planted explosives throughout the lab, ensuring every trace of the virus research was erased forever. Down below, Tiger and Wolf felt the building shake. They realized Josh had done it. Just before the blast, they used their last working time device to jump back to their own future. 2160, knowing the world was now safe. Josh escaped the explosion just in time. The lab was gone, Cronish was gone, and with them, the virus was gone too. Humanity's future had finally been saved. In this new timeline, Josh not only remained rich and famous, but he also reconciled with his parents, promising to always keep them close. For the first time, he wasn't just the janitor nobody respected, he was the man who saved the world. And with that, the story of Future Man came to its end. Hope restored, the future secure. So how did you like this complete series recap? And if you're ready for another wild ride through time, click on the next video on your screen.